And going over to the political part podcast, you have Representative Jasmine Crockett told her boss to hire her because she's black, thereby admitting DEI, which, yeah, of all the reasons to hire someone, I would never choose race, partially because I have, a modicum of intelligence and morality. I choose people based on the resume and their historic track record of success, as well as the variable of their attitude and their reputation. The most useless thing to choose someone, to hire someone, would be race. So what? Especially when you hire sales reps, so that's pretty easy. What's your quota attainment last year? But she says, oh yeah, you should hire me because of my race, which, yeah, no, I don't think so. Now this comes to us thanks to End Wokeness on X, and he says, quote, ha ha ha, well, that's a lot of ha ha ha's. I don't know if I'll get it specifically right. Ha 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 ha. I think that's close enough. He says, quote, ha ha ha, Representative Jasmine Crockett just admitted she is a DEI hire. There she is, and at least she suited up, kind of. I don't know what she's wearing. At least she's dressed appropriately for public speaking, I suppose. I mean, the bar for her is so low. I guess that is giving her an accolade.
Say because you've been gracious. Say because you've been gracious. Is this. When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, he should have, and he should have not hired you. If you have no experience, and again, we all start somewhere in our careers. If you have literally no experience, no internships, no nothing, and you're saying hire me because I'm black, that's not a metric. It's not something you take and like quantify in terms of a metric of success. That has nothing to do with your metrics of success or your qualifications or your personality. Or you're saying hire me because, and apparently Charlie said yes. Because again, I can't believe and it's even more hilarious. She's admitting this out loud. So you're saying you got your big break in life not because of your character, your goodwill, your track record of success, or maybe you're volunteering, any of those things. No, you got your big break in life because of your race, which is ridiculous. Now, this went pretty viral. I got 1.7 million views and 52,000 likes. Now, one of the first comments comes from assistant to the regional professional, Dunder Mifflin. Now, he actually says context matters. So this is actually 40 seconds long, so I'll play the whole thing. Spoiler alert, doesn't really add much.
The final thing that I'll say, because you've been gracious, is this. When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy. And I said, let me tell you something. When I walk in, I'm going to walk in with a level of rapport and understanding that maybe some of my other colleagues will not.
That has nothing to do with your race. That would be your character. I would argue that, but what does that have to do with being black?
Charlie offered me my job, and I worked my butt off, and I worked really, really hard for all of my clients, not just those that look like me. And that is what it looks like to.
I got 109 likes as well as 65 comments. That was the most commented
because you've been great.
Comment, which I think is grammatically correct, although sounds awkward. Now, one of the first comments to that is from Dutch, saying, quote, even with the context, she still thinks she should get the job because of her, in fact, she is black. They got 168 likes. Now, assistant to the regional manager at Dunder Mifflin says, quote, no, she believed in herself because she was black. And that's why she got the job. And it got 10 likes. So, as a youth may say, he was ratioed. I can't snap today. And Dutch did respond saying, quote, so if I believe myself because I'm white, I should get the job too. Getting 70 likes. And the assistant professor says, yeah, how do you expect someone to take you seriously if you don't believe in yourself? Believing in yourself is different than believing in your race. So he's clearly not getting it. And Trulio said, 85 IQ, can't comprehend what he's saying, getting 25 likes. Back to the main comment section, you have based electrician, A+ for marketing. You know what he does for a living. Though if he owns a small business, I wish he put like the business name so to support him. But nevertheless, he says, quote, has Representative Jasmine Crockett ever achieved anything without pulling the race card? They got 222 likes. Western Decline says, you should hire me. Why? Because I'm black. Yes, that's the literal definition of a DEI hire. And now she's holding one of the most highest ranking positions in the country. She's a perfect example of why the country has been turning to shit, getting 1.9 thousand likes. American 357, an excellent caliber, though in terms of what's more American, I can't help but think, God's caliber, the 45 ACP. Can't be the stopping power of the 1911. But ballistically, 9mm has gotten so good throughout the years. I know that argument is not as popular as it used to be. Now, he says, quote, I found one of Representative Jasmine Crockett's eyelashes. It's a picture of an old tire tread on the side of the road getting 159 likes, which that's a weird thing a lot of girls do. That's not unique, particular. That's not only her. I'll never understand or really comprehend why women spend so much on things that most people do not care about. But yeah, it is one of the bizarre things that many women will do that. They'll buy the eyelashes that are like comically long and exaggerated. And to me, I just think that just looks uncomfortable and doesn't impress but me, but nevertheless. You also have Sarah Smith says, quote, imagine being hired only because of your skin color. There's a old meme from the 1950s and some other daughter. The daughter goes, Mom, what does DEI mean? Mom goes, didn't earn it, gained 260 likes. One of the best quotes I think is one of the best arguments against DEI is posted thanks to Nuke, who says, quote, imagine this man coming back and see everything that has happened due to his sacrifice since MLK Jr. And he, it's one of those infamous quotes, says, quote, I look to a day when people will not be judged by the color of the skin, but by the context of their character, getting 175 likes. I would also add to his quote, and their achievements, or, their statistical success track record. I think it's more quantifiable when you're looking to, I know that, he's talking about society. I always have the perspective of businesses and hiring and stuff. Now, you also have, let's see here, Ruth Brown punching back at Representative Jasmine Crockett, who recently called Governor Greg Abbott of Texas Hot Wheels because he's in a wheelchair. Now, she has a sign that says, quote, Abbott might be disabled from the waist down, but Crockett is disabled from the neck up. I got 67 likes. I also have someone who took Patrick Starr and gave him, I don't know what you call the nails gals wear. They're 3 inches long and ridiculously unfunctional. But they gave Patrick Starr from the SpongeBob the nails, eyelashes, and lips. It says you should hire me because I'm black. That's credited to David Santa Clara, getting 710 likes. Jeez Louise, that's the most popular ones. You also have a couple of people with the photo compilation of all the pictures of Representative Jasmine Crockett and other Democrats pictured with George Soros's son. And yeah, saying the quiet part out loud. And I wonder, culturally speaking and politically, it's illegal to hire someone because of the race. But we'll see if, culturally speaking, does just get her more, and politically speaking, does it get her some accolades, and will she use that clip for actually raising campaign funds and raising more money for the DNC, or is this eventually going to start backfiring as the average American doesn't believe in DEI? Let me know your thoughts, because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.